Hi, welcome to another episode of Dion's Daily Dose. Today is, what is it? July 3rd, right? The day before Freedom Day, America. So we were out today, right? And there are a bunch of fireworks stores around. I wasn't really going to go that into it this year, but we've been promising the kids. We put it off last year, put it off the year before. So we got a bunch of fireworks for them. I am debating whether or not to kind of go live during the show, the fireworks show tomorrow, but it'll be later. I might not go live. I might just record it for you guys so you can see us, blowing stuff up. Look, I personally, you want to celebrate the 4th of July any way you want to. That's fine. I don't get the fascination with the really loud bangs with nothing, for them. Just boom. But hey, whatever. Your deal. So that said, this is the weirdest 4th of July I've ever seen. We have various laws all across the nation and the world where you can't do what you would normally do on the 4th in many locations around the country, Indiana as well. We have most of the parades are canceled, almost all of them, as a matter of fact. We have large gatherings banned. California, oh man, California. I want to show you. You've probably seen this, but if you have not, this is absolutely insane. But before we get to that, I want to show you something that is really, really important. There is a missing man. His name is Rod Moore. I'm going to share the screen with you so that you can see what's going on. Let me get it here. There it is. They set up a page to help look for him. If you have any information, please contact the police. His name is Rod Moore, and he is missing from Valparaiso. Check your structures on your property. If he may be hiding in a shed, he does have dementia, they said. Here's the flyer we're passing out as of July 2nd at 11 p.m. We are still searching and hoping to locate him. If you'd like to print and pass out flyers, we truly appreciate it. We have covered most businesses along Highway 30 in South Valpo, but it would be helpful to contact them in downtown and North Valpo, as our most recent lead was on North Calumet, far from where the search started. Thank you to everyone who has given their time and energy to spread the word or search for Rod. His family truly appreciates it. If you live nearby, keep an eye out for this gentleman. Believed to be wearing a gray polo shirt, light colored shorts, white tennis shoes, and a ball cap. He was last seen on Tuesday, June 30th at 7:45 p.m. in Heritage Valley, that's southern Valpo, walking towards Paul Sir Buick. Rod suffers from dementia and may be disoriented. He may think that he's in Spokane, Washington. If you have any information, please contact Porter County Sheriff at 219-477-3000 or Micah Moore, 219-472-9992, or you can email bringrodhomesafely at gmail.com. Keep an eye out, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Moore. If you see him or think you may have seen him, better to give information and have it mean, nothing than, well, no, maybe it wasn't him. Let the people that you pass the information on to make that determination. If he thinks that he's in Spokane, don't break the illusion for him, because it can cause a mental break, especially with those with dementia or those that are, kind of far gone with Alzheimer's and whatnot. It can cause a lot of problems. Let the professionals deal with that. Just if you see him, contact the people and let them know. Let me show you now You guys are gonna flip. If you haven't seen this, with a worsening pandemic, of course it's CNN. California bans singing in places of worship. They ban singing, ladies and gentlemen. While you can still attend in-person church services in California, you can't sing. The state, to curb a rapidly worsening pandemic, has temporarily banned singing and chanting in places of worship. Quote, practices and performances present an increased likelihood for transmission of COVID-19 through contaminated exhaled droplets and should occur through alternative methods like internet streaming, the state's Department of Public Health announced in an order Wednesday. Blah, 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 blah. It goes into, to more stuff. But yeah. I'm going to tell you, and I'm just going to say it. This is not about singing. This is not about a virus anymore. This is about control. What they think that banning singing in a church is going to do to curb a pandemic is beyond me, right? It's California. They don't make any sense, but I'm not going to go too deep into this. This is what we're dealing with. There are forces at work that don't have our best interests in mind. That's just the reality of it. There are people in high offices across the nation. I mean, look, the Rahm Emanuel said, never let a good crisis go to waste. And we have heard from lawmakers, this is our opportunity to remake America in our image, right? To completely change the fabric of society and make it more like we want it. Not the way the founders intended, not the way it should be, not the way it is, but the way we want it. If that doesn't scare the crap out of you, I don't know what will. Think about people who openly embrace socialism and communism, people who think that it's a positive thing. Now, imagine them remaking America the way they think it should be. Let that sink in for a minute. I'm going to tell you. So it's from the Washington Post. So it's like, but it's a good article nonetheless. I'm going to show you this article. It has an exceptional quote in it. And it's about our freedoms, right? Is July 2nd America's true Independence Day? John Adams thought so. This actually is the rough draft of the Declaration of Independence preserved in Washington. The draft was written by John Adams and Benjamin Franklin before adoption by the Congress. Really cool. So this is a version of a post she posted previously. Basically, July 2nd is when they actually originally wrote it. But here's the quote from John Adams. It says, the second day of July, 1776, will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America. I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be commemorated as the day of deliverance by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore. Later that day, the Pennsylvania Evening Post published this. This day, the Continental Congress declared the United Colonies free and independent states. I'm going to give you the link to the article. It's a decent article. It's pretty interesting. I won't go through the whole thing, but this is what celebrating Independence Day is about. This is what it's about. It's about celebrating our freedom. It's about the shows, the guns, the explosions, the bright lights across America. It's to say that we are free. Now, my question to you is, does that still apply? Are we still free? I would like to think so. One of the things that we're seeing across the nation is a push for control, a push for us to relinquish some of our freedoms. Now, remember, people, it was not okay to protest the stay-at-home orders. That was bad, 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 bad. But it's okay to march in the streets and protest racism. Okay? Bear in mind. Now, that said, I want to show you something else. This is from Forbes. And it's really quite interesting. Michael Adam is absolutely correct. He says someone is pushing for extreme civil unrest. You are absolutely correct, my good sir. There are people that are actively working to push civil unrest in this country. You are absolutely correct. Now, let me show you what Forbes says. Quote, a national mask mandate could save the U.S. economy $1 trillion, Goldman Sachs says. Now, what is the source of, what's the connection with Goldman Sachs? Who have we seen them pay of money for speaking engagements to? I'll let you figure out that on your own. I don't want to spoil the surprise. I haven't read this story yet. I heard about it right before I went live. As mask wearing becomes a political flashpoint, coronavirus cases spiking to record levels across the country. New research from Goldman Sachs suggests a national mask mandate would slow the growth rate of new coronavirus infections and prevent a 5% GDP loss caused, quote, here's the key, by additional lockdown measures. So here's what it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it's all laid out for you. And it's going to come. Wear this mask or we're going to have to lock down again. Now, let me ask you this. Realistically speaking, I want you to just ponder this. Once you get people comfortable with wearing a mask, what's the next step along that line? Now, I'm not saying that the only reason I wear a mask is for political agenda. I'm not saying that. My wife and I had a discussion earlier today. She asked me, she said, okay, let's assume for a moment that everything is worst case scenario and everything about wearing a mask is accurate that they're trying to push. Let's assume that wearing a mask does stop the transmission of the virus or at least greatly reduce it. Let's assume that it's going to greatly reduce the cases in order to wear, if you wear a mask, how do you get that across, right? And do you think that people would jump on board with that? And my answer to that was, here's the problem, right? We have a media that has given flip-flop on the virus and then masks. We have the CDC, who has reversed course several times. We have experts like Dr. Fauci, who claimed, oh, no, it doesn't help. It does help. It doesn't help. You should wear it. You have to wear it. You shouldn't wear it. That's the problem. And that's realistically what it comes down to, is there has not been a consistent message from the beginning at all. And people point fingers towards the White House. But remember, Trump stopped flights from China and was called a xenophobe. You had people that left the subways open. You had the governor of New York, who was literally pushing people into nursing homes against federal mandate, and is, in my opinion, responsible for millions of deaths. Excuse me, thousands of deaths. Like 25,000 deaths over there due to the nursing homes. We are lacking a consistent, unified message. And look, there has been politicization of it from both sides, because it's been clear from the beginning that there is no unified interest. You can blame both sides. You can say, and Jack's absolutely right. One thing that we've seen consistently: those who are sick should wear a mask. Let me be very clear. If you are not isolating yourself, which you should do, if you are not quarantining yourself, if you are sick, you should wear a mask. That's the only consistency that we've seen. We've heard that it's transmissible from people who don't have it, or excuse me, who don't show some asymptomatic spread, right? We've heard that it doesn't transfer. First it does, right? It does, and it stays on surfaces for hours. And then it was, well, okay, maybe it's not as transmissible. That's the issue. That's what it comes down to for me, is there is no consistency. Now Italy is discovering that maybe it's not virological, maybe it's bacterial. There's just so much. And that's what happened, right? The media, the government, we don't trust them. We can't. They have lied to us over and over and over. So Dave says, I'm going to wear my Guy Fawkes mask. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's a guy who went to Walmart with, I think it was a hockey mask, right? It's mesh. It's just mesh. There's no, it doesn't block anything. It's like, let me see if I can find it real quick. This is like, it's like what? Hold on. Let's see. Mesh mask Walmart. No, that's going to bring me. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, yeah, here we go. Perfect. So let me show you a picture. If you haven't seen this, let me show you a picture of what this guy was wearing. This is what he was wearing. The one here with the mannequin head is the closest representation. The one all the way to the left here, it's like an airsoft or catcher's mitt hockey style mask. And nobody said anything to him. Nobody said a word. He wore that mask around the store and it was okay. Nobody said, that's dude, no. That proves that it's not about health. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. There was a guy that put a hat, right, and taped, those folder separators, the piece of plastic. He taped a piece of that across the hat, right? And they're like, oh, that's fine. He blow on it. It flips right up. And he's like, what? They're like, no, that's okay. That's good enough. What? Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. So that's what I have for you today. There's one more thing that I want to show you for those of you who are into phone games. I just want to tell you real quick. I found this game that's, like, in my opinion, a hidden gem. It's so cool. It's called War Tortoise 2. Check this out, guys. Look at this picture. They're not paying me or anything. It's just a cool game. So you actually are on, you're a tortoise, okay? A tortoise. And you get like a little hamster army and gerbils, and you can have little crabs with artillery on it, or beetles, right? And little balloons and you still collect stuff if you go idle, right? And you explore the map and you shoot stuff, and the graphics are really good. You can get it, I guess, I got it from Google because that's, I use Android, but it's a neat, fun game. It's cute. The graphics are good, really good, and it's entertaining. So check that out if you're into those kind of things, and you're looking for something to spend your time on, just a way to pass the time for a little bit, and then you close it, and when you come back, you earn stuff. So it's not bad at all. So now that I've gotten all of that out of the way, South Haven Parade tomorrow, or if anyone wants to join us. I think the parade actually starts at noon. We will be getting together about 11. Don't have any more shirts, so all the shirts are spoken for, unfortunately. But for those of you who want to come out and enjoy the festivities, that'd be cool. It's going to be, like I said, it's the only parade around. And you know what? Traditionally, my understanding is that it's a fairly small event, right? Since it's the only parade, I expect it's going to be pretty big. I mean, unless you consider driving around Portage a parade. Hey, everybody's trying to do what they can do. And one last thing that I want to say for those of you who are like, I'm not wearing a mask, period, end of story, that is absolutely your choice. But I thought about something today. Wife and I were talking about this. And I am not going to wear a mask at Menards or Walmart. I don't shop at Walmart anyway for a variety of reasons. But let me ask you this. If a small business, right, requires a mask, will you leave that small business and say, forget them, right? Or will you don a mask in order to support small business? That's something only you can answer. I actually thought about it and I'm like, I would do it. I do it if I believe in that business and what they stand for, because you got to remember in this crazy time, some of these small businesses are trying to figure out whatever they can do to stay open, whatever they can do to try to keep the lights on. Some of these Paycheck Protection Program loans went out. Great. Some people got them. Some people didn't. That thing was a whole big mess. That is a whole other subject. But it is something that I think that maybe we should just pause for a moment and think about in their eyes, right? So you own a small business and you have people who will not shop there if you don't require a mask. But you also have people who won't shop there if you do require a mask. So they're really they get the shaft regardless of which way they go, right? So really it comes down to what do they choose? And from a business owner's standpoint, think about location, right? Say Northwest Indiana, for example. You've got a ton of Illinois people coming, like a ton of Illinois coming across the border to buy stuff, to shop. And it's not just Lake County. It's not just Porter County. We have it over here in LaPorte County too. You see a ton of Illinois plates. So, and we know Illinois is in far worse shape than Indiana. I mean, it's something that the business owner has to decide, and it's something that we as patrons have to decide. It's an interesting dilemma. It's cut and dried when it's not your business on the line. I mean, it's very simple. So Jack, you're right. He says, if it's like New York quarantine, all people coming in except, CMV driver commercial. How many first moms sterilize a baby bottle just to put tap water in? I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. Shannon, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So it really comes down to how much do you believe in that small business and how far are you willing to go to support them? Like I said, I struggle with it. My initial thing was, I'll go somewhere else. But if you really believe in the business and you believe in what they're about, is it a hassle? Sure. But at the same time, it's the whole, there's a bigger picture, right? Well, as a private business, they have the right to enforce anything like that they want. And as a paying customer, we have the right to take our money anywhere we want to. And I'm going to touch on that for just real quick. Did you guys see that there was a Wendy's franchise owner who donated to the Trump campaign? There is a massive push by the left to nobody go to Wendy's, right? Now, it's not all Wendy's. This particular guy, he does own a chain, right? He owns a number of stores, but he's not the owner of Wendy's. He's not the CEO of Wendy's. He's just a franchise owner. Now, of course, that gets left out. It's just, oh, Wendy's is evil. Let me ask you this, right? If you found out that a business was taking your money and putting it towards something that you absolutely were against, would you continue to shop there? There have been a couple of people who have said, oh, boycotts are wrong and they're this and they're that. I'm not saying go out, start a hashtag or, march in front of the business. I mean, if you want to, by all means, knock yourself out. What I'm saying is look at the businesses where your money goes. Walmart, for example, right? If you shop at Walmart, look at how Walmart spends that money. Look at what they do, their business practices, how it goes. I will not shop at Walmart because I don't like the way they treat their employees, things that they do, and I don't like the policies. So I won't shop at Walmart. IHOP here in Michigan City has a big no gun sign on the front of their door. So, okay, I won't shop there. That's my choice. I'm not out boycotting IHOP. I'm not carrying signs, but I choose to not spend my money to places that have policies that I disagree with. Shannon says towards abortion, nope, he wouldn't shop there. Donating to Democrats, I'd probably still go anyway. And that's the choice that you had because it's your money. And that is the beauty of capitalism. You can choose who you want to patronize, who you don't. Do you want to spend money at this business who's going to use it in the community, who's going to help people locally, who's going to employ, potentially disabled people, stuff like that? That's where I choose to spend my money, and I'll take a little bit of hassle in order to support local businesses personally, but maybe pay a little higher prices. I've done that on many occasions. I don't mind paying a little bit more in order for somebody to send their kids to soccer camp or pay their tuition or get them braces, stuff like that. That's the way it is. I'm not a big fan of super chains, right? Walmart, stuff like that. Look, Samuel Walton would be spinning in his grave if he saw what Walmart turned into. I fully believe that. I really do, because this man, he used to, when I was a kid, right, we heard awesome stories about the way that Walmart actually treated their employees back then, about letting trucks park in the parking. That's why you always saw trucks in Walmart parking lots back in the day, right? There for a long time, they actually banned trucks from parking in the parking lots after the kids took over. And there was such an upsurge in truckers going, you know what? We just won't deliver to you anymore. Now you'll see trucks there again. But it's a big thing. Big mega corporations, they don't care about you. They don't care about me. And that's just the way that it is. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Again, if anyone has any questions, for those of you who did not know, I am running for state rep for District 9 here. I'm going to tell you, District 9 is more than just Michigan City. Yes, Michigan City does represent about half the population, right? Half. Not 3/4, not 70%, half. There's half of the district that is not Michigan City. I think it's important to remember that. And I think the current state rep does not realize that. So let's just leave you to think on that. We're going to be doing some more videos soon. We have some interesting things coming up, especially issue oriented. And just so you know, the reason that I haven't done the issue oriented videos is because I was advised by some people that they should be somewhere other than just here. They should be like outside or stuff like that, a little bit different. So the last time I tried to do that, the audio was terrible. So I'm going to see if maybe my earbuds with my phone, if it's long enough, stuff like that. We're trying different things. So that's where we're at. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, it's been a pleasure. And hey, tomorrow, think about your freedom. I want you to really stop. Yes, set off your fireworks, enjoy your barbecue, enjoy the parade, stuff like that. But really, really take just a couple of minutes and think about all that the founding fathers, the people that declared no more, we're not going to take this anymore. Taxation without representation, theft, right? All of these things. And remember, part of the reason that we declared autonomy from Britain is because Britain wanted to take our guns, ladies and gentlemen. So think about that. There is a huge push towards making us more compliant, towards making us more dependent. I am a strong constitutionalist. I believe that the Constitution should be the utmost law in the land. And it's heartbreaking to see all these states it time and time and time again. Indiana has done it as well. I will not vote for anything that steps beyond the bounds of our Constitution, both the United States Constitution and the Indiana Constitution. So with that, thank you very much for joining me. God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the United States of America. Happy early 4th of July.